Welcome everybody to another episode of Terrain Studio. I'm your host, Sean Morris. Today into the Terrain Studio we have something exciting for you. We have the Back2Base-ix smoke template. So, the smoke template itself was designed specifically for Flames of War, although it's suitable for many other games like War Machine, 40K. Before we get into the actual design features of the template, I thought it would be important to go over the construction and exactly what you receive when you order the smoke template. Here on the right, you'll see the smoke template as it comes packaged. It's conveniently shrink wrapped with all the pieces layered with a protective coating to ensure the acrylic does not get scratched in shipping. The template itself is fairly thin, lightweight, so shipping costs are kept to a minimum. And I've had no issues with any of the packaging thus far, and no parts have been received damaged. I've received many of these templates, and so far I've had no issues whatsoever with any pieces coming anything but intact. The template itself, once unpackaged, will appear as such. So your pieces, like I said, will come with a protective coating on both sides. It's your job then to peel back the protective layers to expose the acrylic underneath. Once the layers are peeled back, you'll have something that looks like this. I've left some acrylic here on this smoke part here just to show you. What you do is you find an edge, use your fingernail or a hobby knife to peel back the edging. The paper comes off quite nicely. Just go back in and take off the next piece. Move this a little closer to the camera here. Just peel that back. If it does happen to flake away, again, just find the edge. Peels away fairly easily. I tell all the customers it's kind of a fun game to play. Get your kids to help you out. So there you go. So there's no residue or anything left on here, which is nice. The paper does peel off with no adhesive being left. One side here has the etching, and then the other side, you can still see the etching through it, but it's not engraved on both sides, nor is it necessary. So there's the side piece. So in the package you'll receive a top template, which comes nicely marked with, let me see if I can pick those up, with, there we go, the wind indicators or wind direction, so arrows and numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 here, 4, 5, 6, has a 5-inch circle here, a 3-inch circle here, a center locator, some smoke or cloud designs etched into the acrylic, and then it has several other indicator points along all the axes here. So, like I said, suitable for a variety of games. For Flames of War, certainly you're going to need the center point and the wind directions. The template itself comes in metric and imperial. This one here is the imperial version, so it is 6 inches by 6 inches, true to the outside edge. In the package you'll also receive top template, or top sort of template here that goes over the top of the sides but under the top of the top template. This one here has 4 tabs which are located or used as locators for the 4 edges of the template itself. So that is the second piece that you'll get. You'll also get 4 edges. I have them kind of pre-assembled here. As you can see, they're quite wobbly and not very stable without the top edge on it. But once you put all the parts together, it's a lot more stable. The design for the edges is simple. It's a hook and socket design, so you place one inside, and then it has a little sliding socket here that accepts the edge, and then it sits flush and true at the top. If you're wondering which pieces go where, the etching goes on the outside, so it's really convenient to have all your etching on the outside, and then you should have no problems putting it all together. Let's go ahead and relocate those. There we go. Now, when you put the top template on, it goes right here. Okay, there we go. Suddenly, you're a lot more stable. It's no longer wobbling back and forth. It's not coming apart. I do suggest if you're going to move it on the tabletop, rather than lift from a single corner, I do suggest that you lift from 2 corners. If you do it that way, even if you're holding just on the underside, it's a lot more stable. It's not going to fall apart on you. Oh, there we go, like that. So there you go. So if you use your fingers on the edges, that's the best way to do it. Of course, it's even more stable when you place the top template on. This is not going anywhere, it's not going to fall over. It is going to take some pressure. It's very strong construction. This is probably the traditional way that it will be used in the gaming table, but it does have some design features that are specifically engineered sort of to enhance gameplay and speed up gameplay. There's also a little tab right here that you may be wondering about, and I'll get to that in 1 second, what that's all about. So I'm just going to pop this back off for a second. So in the game, when you shoot smoke or use a smoke template, the smoke remains there for an entire turn. It needs to be 2 inches high, which is conveniently the distance from the top to the bottom of the template, and it does cover a 6x6 area. Also in the game, you will use templates such as this that are used for single bombardments. So with this template, what you're almost getting effectively is a 2-in-1 template. You have a smoke template that can remain in play for an entire turn, and you still have a usable artillery template that can be used in various other places around the table. When not being used, it can conveniently be just placed on top of here as a holding place, or just as a useful indicator for where the exact center of that bombardment came in. In the game, certain weapons are able to fire 2 smoke templates, or what's called a double wide template. When you purchase a template, you do get a little tab. This tab does come in all the template packages, and it is used to link templates together. So conveniently off camera here, I have a second template already assembled. And what this does when you use this is you're able to use the tab to hold 2 templates together. That way, if you need to move the template on the table, it doesn't have to come apart, or for whatever reason, if one gets bumped, it's actually held in place by the other one. And this gives you, again, lining it up with the wind direction, whatever area or whatever direction the smoke is going, you can immediately have the double wide template. Again, this remains in play. If you purchase 2, you effectively have a double wide template and 2 artillery templates. So the convenience of this is that the fact that you can use your smoke template to leave in place while not limiting your ability to launch bombardments elsewhere on the table. Kind of a neat little feature that we thought was missing in the game, but certainly with this design you achieve that. Another convenience factor of this is the fact that you can actually place your hand underneath to retrieve minis. So I got a kind of large hand, but you can see it does fit underneath here. Fits in from all edges, again, underneath. That enables you to remove miniatures. Also, you can just simply reach in and remove miniatures this way. So you can place miniatures in and out. For example, this does remain in play for an entire turn. So if on your opponent's turn, he launches smoke on your miniatures, and you decide, hey, I'd like to move my vehicle, say he launched it on your Panther tank, and you say in your turn, I'd like to conveniently move that vehicle out of that smoke. Well, now you're able to, if you don't have a command team. No, there you go, it even clears there. So as you can see, this tank here actually has a really high profile because it has a really tall commander. So he's able to slide right underneath the template while not moving this. Why is that important? Well, let's say, for example, let's set up a little bit of a scenario here. We have a Panther tank that's right here, but also near that Panther tank was a command stand, and he was launching it on my rocket launchers, and I also have, you know, a platoon of infantry that's here. So we have a platoon that's actually just out of the template over here. We have an infantry stand that's actually just under the template here. We have a rocket that's centered under this template, and over here we have a Panther tank that's centered under that template. So this will happen on my opponent's turn. Meanwhile, he's using his artillery template elsewhere to bombard the rest of my unit. Now on my turn, because this is his smoke, I'm unable to remove this. This remains in play. My turn, I want to get my Panther tank out. So I move him. I'm going to leave everybody else where they are. The indicator is still there. So my guys are gaining concealment and all the various bonuses that come with that. Meanwhile, my tank is conveniently moved out. My opponent doesn't have to leave his artillery templates dedicated to saving the spot of his smoke. I don't have to use my template to remember where the smoke is. This is your reminder right here, and not hindering your ability to launch bombardments elsewhere. You don't need to own 2 templates, you get 2 in 1. That's kind of what we were going for. We also really like the ability of reaching in and pulling out your miniatures. For whatever reason, if I happen to lose this rocket team, I can pull it out. I don't have to have a template held over my miniatures that I can't reach and get out. My opponent doesn't have to hold a template for me while it's my turn. This does all the work for you. You're not hindered, your opponent's not hindered. It's a great reminder to both opponents where the smoke exactly is. The ease of moving miniatures in and out. It's very convenient. This is something that we really wanted to achieve with the template. We're hoping that we achieve that. We're hoping that you guys can see how this can improve gameplay, how it can be used on the tabletop. That is the smoke template design. Another feature of the template that we were really sort of making to cater to the game player was the teardown, the breakdown of it. So say we remove these miniatures, we take them out, it's time to pack up and go home. We don't want to make any player have to hold a bulky template. The template right here, as sold by Flames of War, it's a very similar design, is very thin. The profile, it slips into the back, no problem. With this, it may look like it's very bulky and can't fit, but the breakdown is really easy. You pop off the top. So slide one out of the way here. You pop off the top. This comes off. Stack on top of your template. Basically, just shake loose the sockets, lay them all down. Grab your tab. There you go. As you can see, the profile of this is not much thicker than the profile of this. It still slips into the end of the Flames of War bag or similar. There's not much to move around, carry. There's not really anything that's going to get broken because everything lays relatively flat, especially if you had 2 templates. Just use your 2 outside templates as kind of your sandwich, and you sandwich all the pieces in the middle, and there you go. Conveniently packed away, and you're good to go. The last thing I wanted to mention just before I end off this video was the fact that we went with the gray, sort of a translucent gray. This allows you to see any miniature through the template very nicely. It's not a green design. The green design is really nice, although the fact that you have a green miniature typically on a green base with a green template, it's very, very hard to see, and it really takes away from the ability to identify a team, because you don't know when you put 2 teams underneath there, when you're looking through that, the deep green, which is a machine gun team and which is your Panzerfaust team or which is your heavy machine gun team. It's sometimes hard to identify. So with this color, the reason we chose it was the ease of identifying teams through it, although still giving you that illusion that this is smoke. This is this is something that's causing some concealment to your teams. So that's really all I wanted to talk about, guys. Again, they are made by Back2Base-ix. The really cool thing about this is, if you're watching this video and you are interested in ordering any of these, 1, 2, 3, the sky's the limit on that. If you are interested, if you write in the comment that you want to purchase one, if you PM me, I can send you a code that will get you 10% off right off the top. It doesn't matter if you order 1, 2, 3, 10% code will come from me. It'll be specific to each order, so you need to contact me directly, first and last name. I will hook you up, and you guys will love these templates. So that's it for the TheTerrainStudio today. That's the update. If you want to get a hold of me, PM, comment, email, I will get back to you. Thanks for watching. Cheers.